I'm going to, I suppose, just give a picture of my context and what that means for me in terms of my own PDP goal. So working from the big picture down to, as an individual, how that plays out. The 3 slides that I've got there, the little visuals are really not meant for you to read all the detail. It's just to remind you of what a SIP looks like, or if you haven't seen your school SIP, that's what you should be looking for, to give you an idea and to, I guess, just to affirm that we're all doing the same thing here. Everybody is engaged in the SIP process now. And for me, that's an affirming thing. That's a good thing. This is a moment to embed languages in the broader school curriculum. That's what we can do. And that's what I'm hearing in the conversation at my table, is that we're there at the start talking about what the SIP means to us as languages teachers, and therefore we can drive that agenda and be part of that instead of being an add-on or a forgotten part, if you like. So reflecting on how we make this meaningful and actually make a change, as our big boss Susan Cameron said to us this morning, how do we make this real and actually make practice? I guess we have to be really strategic as curriculum leaders and teachers in our sites at bringing together the agendas of Australian curriculum languages, and we're all reporting now, as from last year I think it became compulsory for us all to report against the achievement standard for languages. So we've been working in the implementation of Australian curriculum. We're working in the context of learning design and the cycle of teaching and learning, and LEDAM, we're all doing that. And we're also in this interesting space now of SACE renewal and the move towards working with capabilities or focus on capabilities and concepts in the senior years. And I'm finding this really interesting now, engaging more with literacy discussions with teachers, non-language teachers at my site, to work out what the commonality is, what the consistent message is, what we can do across our school that works with for all our students for different languages. So in terms of our site improvement plan at Open Access College, as well as having our overall goal of the previous slide, as you could see, we're able to have a target specifically for languages. And to me, a SIP is a living document. It's going to be changing. It's like the curriculum of the school. So it's always going to be, there's always opportunity there to get in there and make changes in this 3-year cycle as we go on. So if you haven't got a goal for languages in your SIP, maybe that's something to start thinking about and working with your school leadership with. In terms of structures of levels at Open Access College, the way that then we work towards that is through our teaching and learning teams and teaching and learning groups. Teaching and learning groups are like our PLC. And again, that's common now. Everybody's working in a professional learning community, and that may or may not be focused on language, but it is focused on moving learning for a group of students that you're working with. So for us, lucky that we can have a PLC or a teaching and learning group that's focused on particular levels of schooling for languages, but cross languages. So different languages within those groups. And my focus is early years for this year, because those are the students that I've identified as really wanting to focus on and move along. So my own PDP individual goal as a teacher is therefore very much embedded in the work that I do in my teaching and learning group with the early years. And in turn, that's supported by the work of the teaching team for languages at a faculty level. And then that in turn feeds into the site improvement plan and the broader school framework. We're all doing the same things now that everybody else is doing in our schools. So we are able to have that common language and that common approach more, I suppose, and work towards that. And evolving technology, multilingual literacies, which brings us to today and the work that we're doing now. That's all. Thanks.
Again, I leave you for 5 minutes with this discussion, which now grounds us back in our particular classrooms. So to focus attention on practical and concrete ideas, that's our main goal here, for building literacy practices. We leave you with the question, what do you as language teachers need to know and understand before engaging in deeper literacy practices in the classroom? And given this South Australian Department for Education context, and this is not a yes, no, or a judgmental type of question, just to begin the conversation at your tables about the diversity of the experiences that we're having. How are you, firstly, engaged with your school site improvement plan? What does your what is your site improvement plan literacy goal? What does the literacy goal mean for you as a language teacher? What does the literacy goal look like in your language classroom? And are you connecting with English literacy practices? Now, the conversation here is to bring the diverse experiences at the table together, to hear about where people are up to and where the SIP is fitting into your conversations as language teachers, educators. So the final question there, how do we bridge the gap between English literacy goals and our needs and interests in our languages classrooms? So I'll leave that with you just for 5 minutes. Thank you.